Hi YouTube fam! Thanks so much for tuning in today. Today I'm coming to you from the beautiful Alice Hotel and Spa right here in lovely Las Terrenas, Dominican Republic. Today I'm going to be speaking with two of the ladies from my Ladies Night video. If you haven't seen that video, do make sure you check it out after you watch this video. And while you're at it, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and click the subscribe button. Yes, like right now, click the subscribe button and do give us a thumbs up. Make sure you give all the videos you like thumbs up and be sure to share them with your friends and family. This tells YouTube you like the content, you'd like to see more of it. It'll be put in rotation. It helps you, helps me, helps YouTube. It's a win-win. So now come on, let me introduce you to the beautiful ladies. So today we're here with my beautiful friends Jenny.
Hello.
And Sonia.
Hola.
Thank you so much, ladies, for coming to talk to me today. I just want to ask you about your experience here in the Dominican Republic, and because both of you have a dual experience in the DR and in the US. And so why don't you tell our viewers, kind of like, how did you grow up? What was your culture like? How do you identify? Did you grow up here? Did you grow up in the US? Give us a little insight into how that happened in your family.
Well, I was born in the U.S. and I grew up in New Jersey with my mom and dad, and they're both Dominican. They left here, Dominican Republic, in the 70s, and just, in search of a better life, like most immigrants do.
How did you grow up? Culturally, ethnically, where did you grow up? What was your family like in terms of balancing the U.S. and Dominican influences?
That was actually really difficult for my family to balance because we were first generation in the U.S., me and my brother, my sister, and so, we went to a school where nobody really even knew where Dominican Republic was in the 80s and the 90s. And so they brought with them their culture, their values, and they wanted to instill that in us.
Your parents brought that from here?
Oh yeah, they did, and it was very apparent because when I'd go to school, I felt like I wasn't like them. I just wasn't. There was something a little different, about me. But then I'd go home and I was like a whole other person. So it was like two personas. Like it was like a clash almost.
Did you guys speak Spanish in your house growing up?
Yes, it was actually the first language that I learned was Spanish.
Okay.
And then they had to actually pull me out of kindergarten to learn English.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you were growing up, did you often come back to the DR for visits, or how did that work?
Yeah, we were here at least once a year, maybe once every 2 years.
Okay. So you maintained a strong connection with this country and with this culture, would you say?
Yes. So just growing up and just, hanging out with my cousins in the capital. And I actually lived here for a year when I was 14. So that was really when I understood what, really being Dominican was. It was so diverse, in terms of like just Dominican culture from what I was used to, because I guess my parents brought their culture, to them in the 70s with them, to the U.S.
Great.
So,
And Sonia, for you grew up also between the two countries, or what was that like for you? Where did you grow up? What was your family kind of identity? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, my family identity was basically just African American, because the amount of generations removed from the island on my father's side, at a point you just get to a place where you're so Americanized, where you only have little sprinkles of the culture. And depending on where you grow up, you just kind of absorb your surroundings. So even if you're Dominican, Puerto Rican, whatever, you grow up in a mostly black neighborhood, then sometimes that's what you absorb. And my mother's family had actually the biggest involvement in my upbringing. They're from Virginia.
Okay.
I was born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. And it's basically, as a young child, I do remember speaking Spanish when I was little, and my siblings and everything. I recall it very vividly. And then somewhere along the way, with the culture that we were around being mostly African American, or at least American people, my siblings just kind of lost it. The reason why I kept it was, one, by choice, two, by doing an extensive search for my father's side of the family. I took that upon myself. My siblings were just kind of like, hey, we're happy, we're good. But I needed more, and I knew my father needed more.
Okay.
So I started incorporating more and more into the culture, and especially because my kids, their paternal sides are Latin as well.
That's what I want to ask you about.
Yeah.
So you're a mother, and do your kids speak Spanish?
When they feel like it, they know how to ask for
Okay.
sweets and things like that.
Okay.
But that is one thing that as far as the language, I will say I could have done better with the language for the kids, because I speak, read, and write. So I kind of had no excuse. But,
Okay.
you know, when you have no one around you really to practice with, sometimes you lose it a little bit. But
Yeah.
fortunately, I lived in Puerto Rico for a while and just picked it right back up on it.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, great, ladies. So I know that you're both mothers, and I want to know if your children speak Spanish, if you found it important to share the Dominican culture with them as they were growing up. How has that worked for you, and just what's it like as parents?
Well, for me, yes, I spoke to my daughter in both languages, more in English than Spanish, but my daughter speaks Spanish more because my parents spoke to her in Spanish.
Okay.
And I think that's the key is like,
Yes.
you know, you made the effort by learning the language too, you know, like, and when you went to Puerto Rico, you learned, and that's when you really picked it up. But like my daughter she's always been around it, so she speaks Spanish.
Like a
little
Dominican,
broken.
Dominicana.
No. She's
Spanglish.
yeah, she speaks it like that, Spanglish, a little broken, but she still is. She speaks it well.
Okay,
Yeah, and
okay.
and I made her take it in high school too.
Oh, that's good.
What about you, Sonia?
So for me, of course, a little more complicated as usual coming from me, but with my children, especially being with my mother's side of the family where the Spanish is no at best, I should have spoken to them more in Spanish. They do know some very basics, and it's just they have a fear of communicating with people, and that could have been avoided by me speaking more with them. When they were younger, we spoke it a lot more with them, but as they got to school age, it was a little less and a little less and a little less.
So, but your kids, you have some children at least in
Some
school
of my children,
here.
they are here.
Okay,
yeah,
so
3
they're
of
picking
them.
it up, I would think?
They are, and they have a very, very good teacher.
Who's their teacher?
She's sitting right next to me.
Look at that.
So
What do you know?
Yeah. So they are picking it up, and I think that it's that sometimes that teenage kind of let's get away with laziness where they'll just default
Of
to
course.
answer me in English when they speak Spanish.
Of course.
But
It's like every teenager.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
I think at some point we all do these types of things.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they're being exposed, kind of like a crash course in Spanish being here. For some reason, my oldest daughter, she and one of my other sons, they kind of have picked up a lot, even just from me speaking. I don't know, but then the other ones, it could be because they're autism.
Could be.
So I
Could
didn't
be.
push them. They say it's hard for them to
Right.
pick up 2 languages.
Yeah.
So we were in the States, so I just kind of
So let me ask you about that in terms of being in the States, living there versus living here. You both are living here now full time.
Yeah.
Right? And when did you make the decision to come here full time? Why did you make it? And do you feel like it's easier here? Do you think are there things you miss from the States? Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's a very big. We have a lot to talk about on this topic.
Okay.
yes, for sure.
People want to know, why are you here?
I'm here really because I think what the majority of people in Las Terrenas come for is like they want to get away from the hustle and bustle and the 9 to 5s and that lifestyle. They're looking for a new lifestyle. So I think that is kind of the base of everyone, every expat that lives here. And it is the best place, really. Like, it is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the backdrop, you have mountains, you have pristine beaches, endless fruits and vegetables.
And you have this.
And you have these
part of the beauty.
There's a treat coming. You guys can't see it, but in just a
incredibly
moment you'll
beautiful
see.
drink.
Oh, wow.
Gracias. Para ella. Uh-huh. Here's a
Qué rico.
sneak
Toda la diferencia es el
peek.
Delicioso.
Look what we are getting. Salud, ladies. Salud, dinero y amor. Okay.
Gotta take a sip.
Yeah, so this is another one of the benefits. Any
Right,
given day, you can get
right.
something like this. Lovely
So-
tropical fruit.
Yes, it is an incredible place. You know, you have warm weather all year round. So that's pretty much what brought me here. But also, my roots are here. You know, I have a very, deep connection to the island. And because my parents always instilled culture in me, I just felt like I was coming back home.
Okay.
You know, in a sense. And I
Beautiful.
was doing it for my dad too, because my dad passed away and he was an advocate in the U.S. In the tri-state area for Latino-Americanos, mostly Dominicans, but he worked with everyone.
Okay.
I even get the chills right now because
Aw.
Wonderful.
it is something that is, I think now, like, this is why I'm here, you know? I had to come back. He always wanted to come
Sharing
back.
people.
I did it for him.
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who can relate to what you guys are saying about
Yeah.
like getting away from the hustle and bustle, maybe
yes.
having personal roots, whether it's this country or some other place that's outside of the U.S. And now people are really interested, in large part, in getting out of that stressed lifestyle. And so, Sonia, do you
Yes.
find like that's been your case too?
That was the first and foremost, because in my case, stress literally, like some people say that, oh, it just makes me sick. Well, literally, it affects me with having rheumatological issues with Sjogren's syndrome and things. And even my doctors recommended that we come here because my husband and I, we were spending so much time here that, and I would feel like a different person because the food quality, air quality, the people surrounding you, the weather. I can't do snow. Sorry, no. Physically, mentally,
Don't miss
spiritually,
the cold.
I
No,
can't,
no.
It's nice to look at.
Exactly.
It's very nice to look
Yeah.
at, when it's first coming down.
Yeah. But other than that,
Right.
no.
It's pretty for a day or two,
Yeah.
and then
So
okay.
it's all quality of life. Hashtag quality of life has been our biggest thing, not just for us but for our children as well, because sometimes it's hard. You almost have to force culture on children in the United States to maintain because there's such other influence that can be more powerful at times outside of the home. But here, this is one big cultural
Experience.
breath of fresh air,
Yes.
day and night, and it's. I would like to say that it's something that everyone should at least try to experience once. We have found our happy place,
Oh, good.
and you definitely notice it from little things. Just seeing what you're consuming growing on a tree at your home or at your neighbor's house or down the street, and knowing that the meat and other foods you buy are literally local. They don't have to put a sign up that says local.
That's from the guy
honey.
off that truck,
Local,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know the guy's first
Yeah.
name most likely. It's all organic.
So have you guys noticed in terms of this, like reduced stress and better food, anything? I know you mentioned like medically,
Yeah.
you felt an improvement. Have you noticed anything maybe in terms of your stress level, relaxation?
Yeah, I
in your
feel
children?
a lot younger. I do. I feel like a lot energized, a lot more energized. The sun does that too. But also the people.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
people, my neighbors and Dominican people are some of the nicest people. And I have traveled. I'm a world traveler. But Dominican Republic has some of the most amazing people.
Definitely.
And you get that energy from them. They're smiling, and the reality is that no, they don't have a lot. Some of them, okay? When you see that they have a smile on their face, you just know that that's all that matters.
Right.
And
You just you
yeah.
get that from them, and that's what I love about being here.
Sure.
And I look at it from a different aspect as far as what they have. I feel like they are more rich
Right.
or wealthy
Right.
than
No, I agree.
anyone in the
That.
I agree.
States.
What's really important,
I
right?
agree.
And
What's
nobody's,
really important.
Oh, absolutely.
hungry. Everything is there. Everyone is sharing. The minute you
Absolutely.
arrive, your neighbors are your family. I can't even tell you I really know my neighbors well in the States, and we lived there for 5-6 years.
Yeah. What can you tell our viewers that some people may be interested in coming here to visit, possibly relocating, looking at retirement? What would you suggest to them that they think about before they come? What should they know? Should they be aware of things? Is there anything they should bring? Maybe anything that you miss from home that would be helpful for them to know about. What do you think?
I would say that they should really rent before buying.
Yes.
To make sure that this is for them. It's very different than the U.S. And here, you know, you don't have regulations, and you know the laws aren't applied the same way, and so that can be, you know, somewhat stressful or anxious.
And with the language barrier.
And with the language
as well.
Yeah, please know Spanish before you come.
It's
Do you
possible.
think-
Learn, actually, because I think it's important, because in Las Terrenas specifically, there have really only been French and Italian. Now Americans are starting to come. Canadians came first,
yeah.
Canadians and Americans, and the Spanish speakers don't speak necessarily English.
Right.
Dominicans don't, not in this area. In Punta Cana they do, but not here.
It's rare.
So so it's just so much easier. That's part of the transition. It will make the transition smoother
Yeah.
if they learn.
Get them that Duolingo. We need a Duolingo sponsor.
Duolingo works.
Or something, you know,
Yeah.
Rosetta
Get on
Stone, whatever it
Duolingo.
is. And when you come, you can have Jenny help you out, give you some lessons, some classes. She's
Yes.
excellent.
La maestra.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, what you have something that you'd offer to the viewers as well?
Well, basically, I recommend the same as you. Definitely rent first and feel your way. And try to, as much as possible, get to know some locals that you trust. A lot of people kind of want to stay in their bubble of people from their own country. And for me, you could stay where you already were and do
Right.
that. You know,
Right.
step outside the resort, another hashtag.
I
So,
like that.
yeah, you want to try to find the locals, find where, go to the grocery store, check out prices. I mean, there are some small list of very specific things that I would suggest that you bring, such as certain kitchen electronics and spices. For someone like me, that's very important. But because there's a lot of those things. However, when things are imported from the U.S. here, a lot of times you want to pay a little more.
Right.
So that also ties into getting out and knowing the local culture, because 9 times out of 10, there's a local alternative. There's a Dominican brand for what you like at home. And the price is going to be more cost effective. And yes, you can order online for things. But I caution that because of the price per pound that you have to pay to have it shipped in.
The import,
and
right.
returning, you might as well forget that. You
Right,
gotta make
there's
sure
no
that
returns,
dress is
yeah.
something you already know fits.
Right.
Because it's just not even worth the money.
Yeah.
But, you know, questions. You cannot ask too many questions.
Okay.
Please ask questions.
Okay. And so tell us, how have you noticed that the change in your lifestyle from the U.S. to here to the DR has affected you? I know you mentioned earlier medically,
Yeah.
you'd seen some things. I've heard people talk about like their blood pressure goes down, they're off the blood pressure meds, they lose weight naturally. You'd mentioned earlier that you felt kind of more vibrant, younger. What would you guys say about that?
Well, I do. I feel like I have a lot more energy, and I do feel younger, and I feel like this is a place where you can really, truly be creative and hone in on what your purpose is, really.
So glad
It
you
takes
said
time.
that.
It takes time. Like for me, I've been here a little over a year now, and things are just starting to, I'm just starting to get into a rhythm of my day-to-day schedule and what the rest of my future here looks like.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely, like I said, health-wise, I'm like a different person here. I mean, there's some days when I can't walk by myself in the States. And here, I find myself pretty much hiking certain places. And I wake up earlier. I go to bed earlier, too.
Yeah,
I don't
me
know.
too.
The clock feels different. I'm usually a night owl, but here, I'm like, you know, maybe it's the rooster. But you just have a chance to really stop and slow everything down so that you can heal mentally, emotionally, and physically. And that's a good part of the slowing down. Now, the American in me wants everything quick, fast, and in a hurry. You're going to have to learn patience.
Yep.
If you need a lesson in patience in your life, come to the
This is the
Caribbean,
place
and
to come.
specifically the Dominican
Right.
This is
Republic.
the
Right.
place to come.
Because
You will sit in a bank for an hour.
Okay, so ladies, a lot of viewers are interested in how they can make a living once they move here? You know, some people are retiring and they have a pension or something to live off of, but other people like us are younger and maybe are still wanting to do something, not like a 9 to 5, right? But another way to keep busy or have a little something coming in so that they're not just draining savings.
Yeah.
How have you guys managed that in the time you've been here?
Well, basically, we work in commercial real estate, mainly commercial, occasionally residential, and we've been in the business for many years, and it translates very well living here because we're able to work remotely and work on our own schedule. So it's been truly a blessing, and I also am a musician and have a publishing company through BMI. Bless you.
Salud, salud.
That happens here too. Don't edit that. So
Real life. That's how it goes.
you know, it's international sneezing. Yeah. So the funny thing is, I actually here had the time to have a bit of a social life.
Oh.
So I went out for karaoke one night and just did a random song, which, long story short, translated into me being booked for shows around here. I left the stage 10 years ago and never thought I'd have it in me or the energy to come back.
Okay.
But being here has totally revived my passion, and see you soon on
It's like
stage.
being reborn here. Jenny's
Yeah.
back.
I'm
Jenny's
back. I'm back. Just
All
had
right.
a little sneeze attack.
You're right on time, though. You're right on time.
Yes.
So tell us about how are you sustaining yourself and finding your creativity? What are you doing here? We know that you teach Spanish. We've shared that.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, I also work with essential oils. But how I came to work with essential oils was because I got an amoeba. I got sick with an amoeba when I first got here, and I did not want to use the medication that they prescribed because it was going to kill my everything,
Right.
my immune system, and it was
Good.
really, really, really bad. So I had a hold of some very good potent oregano oils and like cinnamon and clove and just everything to boost my immune system while also like killing the parasite. I started working with the essential oils. I'm like, wow, this worked. And then I just kind of started, teaching myself basically how to use them. And now I'm just blending them. And so right now I'm dedicating all of my time to just working with a product that for me is like, it has to do everything with nature.
Have you noticed an improvement in your physical being and how you feel?
Yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
That's the reason why I was able to, go forward with this. Was
Wonderful.
because I feel so much energy
Excellent.
here. Yeah.
Excellent. You guys, I'm really, really happy that you came today to talk to me, to talk to our viewers, and share with them what your experiences have been here. Give me one more, just a little, if you had one tip to share with someone who was thinking about moving to this country, what would you say?
I would say throw all expectations out the window and just be very open and give it some time, and that's it.
And I would say learn before you get here and while you're here as much of the indigenous local culture as possible, and your transition will be much, much smoother.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks so much, ladies.
Thank you.
You guys, here are the kind of people that you have to come and enjoy if you decide to make your way down here. So come on down. Thanks, ladies. We'll
Thank
talk to you
you.
later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
With the picture?
Like with the pictures?
Yeah, they're like this big.
You were in Maryland, right?
Baltimore,
Yeah.
So how long have you been down here, Sonia?
This time, well, 3 months.
Oh, just 3
Yeah,
months. Okay.
but if you add up all the time I've been here together,
Yeah.
it's been like years.
Yeah, I know.
Because
You
when
keep
we
coming
come-
back and coming back.
right,
coming
and
back.
staying for like 2 weeks at a time, 6 weeks, things like
Right.
that. So
Does your
yeah.
husband love it? Did he want to come?
Oh yeah. I think he's adapted faster than I have, and he's learning Spanish so quickly, and he's just. Sometimes he says things, and I'm like, "Where did you learn that?" He's like, "See,
Coño.
And, right, coño." And then I'm like, "Where is one of the kids? Where is Gito?" He's like,
Oh.
"Where did you learn this?"
Exactly.
Oh God, no, I can relate. Steve's favorite word is coño.
Is it?
Yeah, he's like
Coño.
coño.
I have a shirt that says
So
"I
good.
coño" on it. I'll
I
give it
really
to him.
need to get, yeah, I need to get that for Steve. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Dominicanism.
Yes.
Definitely Dominicanism.
Yeah, it's definitely you can speak Spanish or you can speak Dominican. It's not the same thing.
No.
Not
Yeah.
the same thing.
You're talking about your hair. Everyone's hair has grown since we've been here.
It's grown.
Yes.
It's grown. I just cut it, but it's getting thick. Is what I mean.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
the humidity,
The
right?
humidity,
Yeah.
the fruits, the vegetables. What she was
The
talking
rum.
about. Everything is nice and just
The rum.
Fresh, delicious.
The constant moisture.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Is part
I
of
think
what
so.
does it, and it just the thing that got me, and I'm hearing a few people saying the same thing. When they first came here from the States, their face broke out like a teenager, and mine surely did. When I got back, I went to the dermatologist and everything, and it literally just took time. And using aloe, the medicine
aloe.
right? The medicine
Rub it.
cabinet is like right outside.
It's-
You know what I
great.
mean?
Yep.
And now it's like I don't use no foundation. I don't need,
Oh,
know.
no, all
I
that
don't need
makeup?
to.
No.
No, it's too hot for all that.
It is. It's going
Right.
to drip off.
Yeah.
So it's like you get used to the heat. At first it's like oppressive.
No.
Then
Yes.
you realize your skin's glowing.
Yeah.
Right.
And you
Right?
try to put makeup on, you're like, nah, that was a mistake.
No, your brushes get soggy.
You're like,
Yeah.
what?
No,
No.
humidity is
No,
not
no.
your friend. No, it's a friend, but it's not a friend.
Yeah.
Depends on how you use it, right?
That's it.
Did we cover the fact that the lights go out like on a regular basis?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't. It's not that bad. It's
No,
like
no,
once
Speak for
it's not.
yourself.
Well, so like yesterday, at least they told me they were cutting down a tree outside of where I live, and so they shut the power down. But it was the whole town, right?
That's what they told you. No, because on their website they
It
said
went out.
it was supposed to
Oh,
be
they
up 9 to
planned it.
1.
from 9 to
Ah,
1,
okay.
and it ended up being, or no, they said
10
10
to 1.
ended up
Oh, no.
being 9 to like
3:30.
Yeah, because I didn't get to have a shower till
And then
late in the day.
Yeah.
It came back
I was not
on, and
happy.
this morning I'm like tired, like oversleeping and whatnot. And then I get up to get myself together, and no electricity.
Oh yeah.
Didn't
Oh,
come
yeah.
on again until 3 something. So
We have
there's-
candles in my house where I know where certain candles
Yeah.
are, so when the lights
And
go out, I can go right
matches.
there. Absolutely.
You
I
need to
bought
know what
camping
matches.
lanterns, and the
Yeah.
battery lasts forever. I bought like
Yeah.
6
Yeah.
of them from Amazon, and they are awesome. They will
Yeah.
light a whole room. I definitely suggest that people
It's good
bring
to
those.
have flashlights. Yeah, absolutely.
So patience, manage your expectations. Kind of be cool with the fact that the electricity will go out sometimes, but
Yeah.
usually when it goes out, it's not like all day.
It's
Those
not
are
so bad.
planned
Well,
cancellations.
yeah,
it
lots
might
of-
be like 5 minutes, maybe
Las
30
Terrenas in
minutes.
like 5-10
specific,
minutes, yeah.
they've worked on that a lot,
Yeah.
and we have a better infrastructure as far as that goes here than anywhere else on the island.
Yeah.
Granted, it
Yeah.
is the most expensive on the island. Las Terrenas
It is.
has the most
Oh
expensive
gosh,
electricity.
it's crazy.
'Cause it's
Please don't use your
privatized.
AC.
It's
Please.
privatized.
Like
No,
you
you
don't
just get used
need an
to things.
AC here unless I mean, I don't know. For me, I don't need it.
Well, see,
I
did.
have gotten used to it. Though
Yeah.
this summer was really hot.
It was definitely
It was-
hotter than last year,
That's
and
why I was gone this summer. It took off.
Yeah.
yeah,
Even when we
and
got back in September, it was flaming.
yeah.
Yeah.
Flaming hot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was.
like I feel like yesterday was the first reasonably cool day.
Yeah.
I know. I wore a
Since
jacket.
July.
I was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.
And yeah, because with the air conditioning, I was reading something that it usually takes 2 weeks for humans to acclimate to a warmer climate. It takes much longer
At
going
least.
vice versa.
Yeah.
Oh,
And with
yeah.
me, if I'm not feeling well and I have the inflammation from the rheumatological stuff, my husband already knows I have to like taper down the air.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll start with it on full blast, then I'll go down and down and down. Now
Yeah.
I'm finally to a point where 3 cold showers a day cools me out.
3 cold showers is wonderful. Yeah, you get used to cold showers when you're living here
Yeah.
because it just feels good.
Yeah, like
You
a
don't
hot
wanna be
shower
hot.
does not sound
no.
Yeah,
really
you wouldn't
very
think
delicious.
you don't think of a cold shower as being like really soothing.
Right,
But
right.
like it does here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does soothe you. Feels good.
Well, gosh, you guys, thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Cool. Well, as you can see, it's evening now, and we're about to get our drink on again.
Yes.
Because it's
gonna
for
be
health
good.
reasons. There's essential oils in the drinks,
That's right.
like some squeezed stuff from the leaves.
Rum is a
Yes.
preservative.
Rum is a preservative. It's natural. It's from the caña.
drink it.
It grows.
Come
All
here
right,
and
cool.
drink it.
Mwah. Bye, guys. See you later.
Bye-bye.